Welcome to the IT Fundamentals Training Series. This is your host, Mark Haupt. We are in episode 28, and today we're going to explore common computing devices. Remember, this whole chapter 3, is about computing devices and Internet of Things, and we're going to explore both of those independently. So today, we're going to take a look at servers and workstations, laptops. And actually, we're going to leave the laptops till the next episode, and we're going to go with the smaller episode here with servers and workstations, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that the book wants you to know for some reason about laptops, such as external power adapters and things like that, that they really don't care whether you know about servers and workstations. So let's talk about this first of all. Common computing devices. All right. What is the difference between a server and a workstation? Honestly, from the hardware perspective, it could be nothing is different, or it could be a dramatic difference in between the two. So here's the deal. A lot of people don't understand that servers are nothing more than computers. They have processors, they have boards, they have drives in them, and so on and so forth. Network interface cards, even peripherals at times, although servers typically don't have too many peripherals on them. Servers are simply computers that have a specific service of serving up data or serving up an application to a number of users on the network. So it's kind of like it's a central focused point where people go and get their information or operate their application. A workstation, on the other hand, is what we also call an endpoint, meaning that is the end, if you will, of the network wire virtually. Now, back in the olden days, literally there was a network cable and it had an end to it, but now network cables, or the network, doesn't really have an end except for that endpoint computer or a workstation that's there. So looking at the book on page 123, let's talk about what they want you to know about servers. So as they say, servers come in many shapes and sizes, and so on and so forth through there. So yeah, absolutely, they come in a number of shapes and sizes. They can be as small as a what we call a mini type of device, or as large as a racked type of device that goes inside of a data center. So they always offer a networking capability of some sort, because if they don't offer networking capability, they're not serving anything up. So a dedicated server is one that's assigned to provide specific applications and servers. So that is something that is kind of gone by the wayside these days, as dedicated servers, except for the use of databases. Databases are still highly consumptious when it comes to processing and RAM. And so we still put databases on dedicated servers from time to time, but not always. Non-dedicated servers are what I would call are shared devices, or even cloud devices, are those that can do multiple things off of the same server. So for example, you may have a dedicated server that is for a database, but you have a non-dedicated server that also hosts the application. It may host multiple applications or multiple websites, or an application and a website, and so on and so forth. So when we're talking about servers, that's what you need to understand, is that the server is designed to serve something else. It's self-descriptive in that. Non-dedicated servers, you could translate into a cloud server, or another type of scenario like that. All right, so we move on to workstations, and what they really want you to understand with workstations are, again, that these have, in fact, it says you must have a network interface card in order for it to be a workstation. So a workstation is, in their definition, a little bit different, a little bit more than just a computer that might sit on your desktop independently. It's actually a workstation that is a component of a network that has a purpose and a function on it, meaning that that it is a client computer to the server in some way, shape, or form. So most of the time in an office environment, you would have a computing device that would act as a workstation connected to a network that would reach out to multiple dedicated and non-dedicated servers in order to access applications or functions that they need in order for the end user, the person's actually at the keyboard, to operate. But one of the key things you need to understand by both of these, but in particular the workstations, is in order for it to be a workstation versus a PC, you must have a network interface card. Now, PCs all come with some sort of network interface, either the Wi-Fi or a wired version these days. So technically, it's kind of interchangeable, if you will. So that's an important thing there. Now, under the notes section, it says network client software comes with all operating systems today. When you configure your computer to participate on a network, the operating system utilizes that software. Okay, that's another important piece you need to understand, along with the fact that a network interface card is a requirement. Now, real world scenario. Again, this is typically not on the test, but I think this is worth your look at on page 125. Is it a server or a workstation? This is one of the things that I like to do when teaching novice technicians. In the room, there will be a standard looking mini tower desktop. I point to it and ask, is that a server or workstation? So bottom line, what he's going to do, what the author here is going to go do, is try and get you to be able to identify a server. And frankly, you can't identify a server visually. All right. So that was his first question. Is that a server or a workstation? It's a function that is the definition between a server and a workstation. So it goes on to say, for example, if that system has a Windows 2016 server installed on it, you can be pretty sure that it's a server. If it has Windows 8.1 or Windows 10, it's more than likely going to be a client, but not always. Because, and this is where I come into play, because you can run items, you can serve items such as a print server off of the workstation. Computers with going back to the book, computers with operating systems such as Windows 10 can be both clients on the network and non-dedicated servers, as would be the case if you share your local printer with others on the network. So there you go. Even before reading it, if you will, we identified. So they go to the bottom. They say the moral of the story: don't assume a computer's role simply by looking at it. You need to understand what it is, what's on it, and the role that it plays. So that's what I think they're trying to get you to look at here, is that the difference between servers and workstations is not specifically hardware based, but it is application or function based. And workstations are endpoints where you actually work and do your computing. Servers are things that run semi-autonomously inside of perhaps a data center or a data closet that serve up applications for you. All right, that's your lesson today. We'll get into laptops on the episode 29 when we come back next week. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.